Daniel 8:14. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. Good morning, Yasha Allah. Glad to be in your midst this day as we come together to search the scriptures a little bit more, and to add to our strength, courage, determination to serve our Mashiach to the praise of Abba Yahweh and Wa Rawak. And so, I remind you then that we are heading for the time of the Day of Atonement. And as I discussed with you previously, from I began to do that until now, to let you know that in the time of atonement, our Mashiach is coming down to get a response from us to the question, who do you say that I am? A very most important question for us, Yasha Allah, as we have come to this another period of finding ourselves in a lackadaisical condition with regards to our way of serving the Most High Yahweh and our Mashiach, Yahweh Shai, in Wa Rawak. And so we are getting ready, I hope, all across the diaspora, north, south, east, and west, Yasha Allah, the house of Yahweh, and Ephraim. We all come together now to break bread as brethren. And of course, the people of the nations are invited to share in and get some of this bread that we are breaking. And so, to begin with, we want to give all praise, all honor, with thanksgiving unto Abba Yahweh through our Mashiach, the word of his power that he sent to pay the penalty, price for sin, and to bring redemption to Yasha Allah and to as many of the nations that would desire to share the life of the Eternal One, Hamashiach, who says that at the end of all things, in the last days, he will raise his people up because the Father has given unto him life in himself, and he's going to do it. But as we begin our study, we going to begin with the project of asking pardon as we deliver also an eviction notice. We want to ask pardon from our chief adversary in the realm of humanity, and that's Edom, Amalek, who have inhabited our land since the destruction of the last temple in 70 AD. And so they took over the land and have been there since, until now. And we are asking pardon of them for our sitting down in such a relaxed mode and allowing them to run rampant in the land that was given unto us. And according to the book of Ezekiel, they cast it out for prey, as if to say they're going to have it forever. Well, we know that in Luke chapter 21, we can look at it there for a moment. Luke chapter 21. Verses 19 through 24, that says, "In your patience possess ye your souls, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled." So here we have a reminder of that great time of distress upon Yasha'Allah, our forefathers, who were there to witness the second temple being raised by Titus and maybe Vespasian. Not one stone left upon another, according to our text, that wasn't thrown down. And thereupon, afterward, the same people took over the land. They don't say that in their boasting about their possession of the land. That is our land. They don't tell you how they usurp the place. Be that as it may, they have been there since the destruction of the second temple. And of course, according to the book of Ezekiel, they seem to have gotten very comfortable. And in spite of all the evidence that, give the idea, the understanding that they're committing all sorts of treachery in the land, but they feel comfortable. They have felt comfortable for a long time. I think they are a little more uneasy now that Abba Yah and his Ruach has begun to wake us up to come to our Mashiach, that he may bring us back into the land as he did when Abba Yah was delivering Yasha'Allah out of Mizraim. He sent, as you know, in the Tanakh, the Old Testament, that Abba Yah told Yasha'Allah, I'm sending my angel with you. And it is called further on the Malakim of Abba Yah's presence. We know that to be the Mashiach before he came in the flesh. But we're serving this, we're asking pardon of Esau's children, who have usurped the land, as it were, unto themselves, and whomever they would want to come and be with them. And as I said, we have sat by and watched it all happen. Of course, according to our opening scripture, we are told that our people, in verse 24 of Luke 21, would fall by the edge of the sword. That's the sword of the Romans, Esau, and shall be led away captive by Esau into all nations, by Esau, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. Esau and whomever else he wants to bring there with him to cast us out and keep us cast out until, this is important, until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. And so while we're asking pardon from Amalek and Esau and Netanyahu, the prime minister there, we're asking them to pardon us for sitting down so quiet and letting them have their way. But now, by the time of atonement, your eviction notice comes into effect from our head, the Mashiach of Yasha'Allah, whom you crucified under Pontius Pilate, or Pilate. Yes, we remember, and it's in the scripture, that you, Esau, crucified our Mashiach. Of course, with the sanction of our own people, crucified Mashiach. But it was his lot to pay for the ransom of his people, Yasha'Allah, us, whom he died to ransom unto himself, unto Abba Yah. And so, come the Day of Atonement, not too far from now, your eviction notice comes into effect from our Mashiach. You are hereby warned. All right, Yasha'Allah, let's look at what we come to deal with here. Isaiah 31:6. Isaiah 31:6 says, Return ye unto him, from whom the children of Yasharal have deeply revolted. Immediately now, we are challenged by the prophet Isaiah to turn. And when you go through all the prophets, and as it was also, as it is with the apostles, when you go into the book of the New Covenant, for those Israelites who never understood that the Mashiach was all the way back there in the Old Covenant, doing his work that the Father gave him to do. Matter of fact, you go into what's it? Exodus 19, I believe it is, and you see the Malachim of Yah's presence that the Father sent to be with Moshe and the children of Yasharal. The Malachim of Yahweh's presence was the Mashiach before the human birth in Matthew. Perhaps you didn't know that. You brothers and maybe sisters who don't understand your own scriptures. You didn't see that the Mashiach was there to lead Yasharal out of Mizraim, as in the English calls it, the angel of his presence. And you know, in the Hebrews, it's the Malachim of the Most High's presence, the Mashiach, before he came to human birth. And so we are invited. We are the prophet and prophets, prophetess, plural, have had a pressing task in the continuance of pleading with Yasha'Allah, calling Yasha'Allah to return to the Most High after he had wrought such a great work, a great deliverance for us, for our forefathers, and bringing them out of Mizraim, delivering them from the corona, delivering them from Amun-Ra, Sephiroth tree, that today we are battling under Esau and the coming together of himself, Esau, with Levi, the evil portion of the priesthood in Haiti. We are today battling Kabbalistic age and the Sephiroth tree that our fathers were threatened with when they were coming out of Mizraim. And so you have then, let's look at 2016. You have after the situation with Mizraim, when the Most High had Moshe do a standoff with Pharaoh. Pharaoh had his corona, big and strong, and all the other plagues that he had going to embattle Yasha'Allah and force them into servitude. That that freebie servitude that he got, he loved that so much. And he wanted that to continue forever. So he was pressing the issue, as we understand that is being done to us today under Esau. And you know, the nations are not giving him any advice to say, you should let it go, because you're barking up the wrong tree. So Esau is pressing it in, right? And but Isaiah 28 and 16 says that, of course, you know, he's talking to Yashala, as the prophets had to do all the while. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. And another way of expressing what the text is saying here, the Most High Yahweh is letting Yasha'Allah know that even after having delivered them from Mitzrayim and Pharaoh, all those plagues and the corona, all of that, they were still fighting against his leadership and the leadership of the Malachim of Yah, that was the Mashiach. And in your Tanakh, you brothers who apparently don't understand your Tanakh, but the Malachim of the Most High's present was the Mashiach. And so, you know, as he continues on the trek towards the human manifestation of himself as the Mashiach and Yasha'Allah, the Most High is continuing to declare him, declare the Mashiach as, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone, tried stone. This stone was tried all the way in the old covenant. There's Moshe and Yasha'Allah in the wilderness. You got to see this. You Tanakh Yashreelites, you old covenant Yashreelites, you got to see this. You got to actually really see this Mashiach who is there in your scriptures. That's the part of the scriptures that you want. But we got from the Tanakh and from the New Covenant. You see? And so this stone that is for a foundation is a tried stone. From all the way back then, he was tried. The Father was sending him the word of his power in Psalm 102 and 20, I believe. He sent his word and healed Yasha'Allah. This is the same word that became flesh in Yochanan chapter 1. And so here, Isaiah, beholding him, declares him to be for a foundation to Yasha'Allah, a tried stone, precious cornerstone, sure foundation. Sure foundation. And he says, he that believeth shall not make haste. And I mean, Another way of saying is that the one whose sure foundation is the Mashiach ain't gonna rush nothing. He's gonna take it as the Most High, brings it to him. He's gonna understand that, certain things you have to deal with in a certain way. And we have a saying in local talk, don't rush to brush. This is what Yashayahu was saying. He that believeth won't be rushing to brush. Because you got to take time to get your paint set right. And so the Mashiach has been a sure foundation from the time he led Yasharal in the wilderness with Moshe. You remember there's another text that says he was the rock that was with Yasharal in the wilderness. They drank from that spiritual rock that was Mashiach. Yeah? All right, so it's also backed up in the new covenant, what we call the New Testament, in Romans chapter 9, Romans 9 and 33. It's only a repeat for confirmation of what we read already, that Mashiach, as in Romans chapter 9, verse 23, as it is written in Isaiah 28, here in Romans 33, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion. He's called here now a stumbling stone and rock of offense. And whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. So the same text is worded in a slightly different way here in Romans. It is hinged on Isaiah 28, but the wording is a little bit different to fit the context. It's called a stumbling stone and rock of offense. How is he a rock of offense? Well, it's obvious that many in Yashala today don't accept him, don't know who he is, don't recognize him. And so when you bring it up, this Mashiach, who was crucified, died, was buried, and rose again 3 days later for the redemption of Yashala, for the redemption of those same brothers and sisters who may doubt him, doubt the salvation. But they're still looking for someone to come to do something special for them. And the Most High has already done what he needed to do. So we are here to encourage you, brothers, who have not been able to see in your own scriptures the part that you accept. We can see in that part that's called the Tanakh, and in the renewed covenant, Mashiach, in the volume of the book, according to the book of Hebrews, in the volume of the book, speaks about him. It speaks of him from everlasting to everlasting. All right, then. So we talked about Yasha'al's problem in and coming out of Mizraim, where the Egyptians, we call them again, Egyptians decided that they were going to keep these people as they wish, to have them enslaved to them perpetually. And you know, the Mosai Abaya sent the angel of his presence. You look to the Tanakh, and you see it. The angel of his presence, that's how it's worded for the English, where we know it's the Malachim of Yah's presence. He's doing his thing at the behest of Abba, Father Yahweh, on the behalf of Yasha Allah. You see him, brothers who want to deny him. We learned then that Moshe, Acts 7 and 22 says Moshe was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and deeds. But you know, in the Hebrews, book of Hebrews, it says, by faith, when Moses came to years, he refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. And he chose to suffer affliction with the people of Alahayim. But the other point I wanted you to see, brothers, that Moshe was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. So he knew what the Sephirothal tree was. And he understood the charm and the power that it supposedly had. But he had a power greater on his side. And this is what I am encouraging you about, brothers and sisters, after letting you know what Esau and Levi had done to keep you down, to keep you broken and shattered through these magical instruments. But here, our forefather, Moshe, a Levite himself, he knew all about it. He wasn't afraid. And one part, I think, in Hebrews, it says, by faith, Moshe forsook Egypt, Mitzrayim, not fearing the wrath of the king. Didn't fear the Sephirothal tree, nor the Kabbalistic aid, as powerful as they were and are, maybe. He left, not fearing the wrath of the king. He didn't fear the Sephirothal tree, nor the Kabbalistic aid as we have it. And so I'm encouraging you and me, brothers and sisters, don't let these symbols, these instruments of cruelty that has been in the possession of Levi and Simeon, Esau, of course, don't let these symbols deter you. The scripture says, trust in the Most High, Yahweh, and do good. Let's keep the faith, brothers. You know, when you're meeting up with systems, you know, governing principles of being, you have to move cautiously. If you're not versed or knowledgeable about these systems and what they do or can do. And so here we see again that Moshe was learning all the wisdom of the Egyptians, but he wasn't afraid to tell the king, I gotta go, buddy. The father's calling me. I got some work to do for him. Bye-bye. We are in that position now, brothers and sisters, where um, Esau's system, Amalek, and all their consorts, they, they, they want to try the same trick that Pharaoh tried with our forefathers. And, well, we see already what our power is doing for the sake of his name and on our behalf. It's not time to lose heart, Yasha Allah. Keep the faith and trust in the Most High. Do good. This is what our word is to you today, Yasha Allah. We're looking forward to a great deliverance. And if Esau and his boys keep it up, it'll be greater still. Because, you know, our brother from Jamaica did the song, the harder they come, the harder they fall. Jimmy Cliff. The harder they come, the harder they fall. One and all. Because our Abba in Mashiach and his Rawat don't play. They can end the game in his time. So this is our confidence, Yasha Allah. This is our hope. So our text admonishes us in Isaiah 31:6 to turn unto him. We have been turning away because of, remember I shared with you earlier when we went into this and showed how our forefathers and mothers were being led astray by the familial relationship that they had and enjoy, I might say, with their relations in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. You know, they married Egyptians. So there was a family bond going on. And then when the Most High comes and say, up, you mighty nations, let's go. They were glad to get away from the oppression that was on them for the moment. But as they began to go away and lose that family bond that they were having with Egyptians, then Yasha Allah started to rebel. So when the Mashiach comes along, he has to tell us, anyone who's coming after me and love father and mother more than me is not worthy. If you love sister and brother more than me, you're not worthy. Friends, you're not worthy. But forsake all for him, for the kingdom, if you so desire. But he's made it available to us. Let himself become a sacrifice under Esau, under Pontius Pilate. Yeah, when you look at Isaiah 50, 55, I think it is, or 53, one of them, they put Mashiach through some tests. Oh yeah, and you can imagine Esau having been stripped of the birthright. I mean, he didn't want it, actually. That's what the scripture shows. He didn't want it. Because he didn't want a relationship with the Most High. He wanted his own kingdom like Lucifer did up in the Shamayim. So, you know, this was Esau's way. He wanted to have his own kingdom and do his own thing. how could you intend, how could you dream to do that kind of thing with Abba Yah, with the power that created the heavens and the earth, created all the principles of operation in your being? But Lucifer tried it. He thought he could do his thing and handle the Most High. The Most High looked, simple enough, quiet and gentle. He thought he could take him on. He found out it ain't so. Pharaoh found out it wasn't so and had to confess. Now we're looking for a confession from Esau, because Esau intended to be more of a tyrant than anybody else before him. So we're going to see how it plays out. Since he's going to continue to contest, I think we might be at maybe round 3, round 2 or 3. Anyway, we have to stand by and see how it plays out. So Leviticus chapter 26 and 3. Leviticus chapter 26. Pardon me, 13. Leviticus 26 and 13 says, I am the Most High, your power, which brought you forth out of the land of Mizraim, Egypt, that ye should not be their bondmen. You hear that? And I have broken the bands of your yoke and made you go upright. They were bent over, and I guess they might have started to become in the shape of their exercise and doing their work. They get back problems, rib problems. Moses said, I delivered you from Mizraim so that you would not be their bondmen. And now we have Esau attempting that feat all over again. He wants to make Yasha'Allah bondman after 400 years. He wants to make us bondmen again for life. I think he said his next slavery effort would be for 500 years. Esau is more than a madman. But Abba Yah got something for him. And matter of fact, he's going to let our Mashiach exact the toll on Esau. Remember Isaiah 63? Who is this that cometh from Edom? Dyed garment from Bozrah? Glorious in his apparel and traveling in the greatness of his strength. Says, I'm the one who speaks in righteousness. This is in your Tanakh, you brothers who want to deny the Mashiach. The Mashiach says, I am the one speaking in righteousness, coming out of Bozrah, the land of Esau. Because I got a strange work to do there. I got a strange work to do in Edom. You still want to doubt the Mashiach? Now he's coming from Bozrah, way in the old covenant. But you and I, we are in bondage here on the west side, a long way from Bozrah, under pressure from Esau. And the Mashiach says, when the prophet saw him, says, coming from Esau's place, I've been and staying up all my raiments, dealing with him. So you want to keep it up, Esau? be the guest of the Most High. Yeah. See, I'm going to stain all my raiments dealing with Esau. Mash him up. So, the Most High was concerned that we should not be. So we've come to this time now where he has had to put us, the children of the forefathers that were run out of Jerusalem after Titus and Vespasian destroyed everything, temple including, chase all our people out and, let them into bondage. So here we are now, again, coming out of the bondage that began since 70 AD. Began after the destruction of the temple. We were run out, our forefathers were run out of their homeland since that time. And in the last 400 years or so, made to be servants of Esau, the Amalekites, and all his, all his offspring, Esau, all over the earth. They trafficked with us, with our forefathers, and had us who are here today working their works, and 5 cents a day, whatever have you. And they want to keep that up. That's so good for them, man. They love that oppression. They love oppression. To oppress Yasha Allah, oh, Esau don't love nothing better than that. Let him oppress Yasha Allah all day and all night. He's happy with that. But the Most High got something for him. Let's look at Proverbs 3:11. The Most High is reaching out to us, Yasha Allah, through the Mashiach and of his Rawak. In Proverbs 3:11, it says, "My son, despise not my chastening, or the chastening of the Most High. Neither be weary of his correction." And here today we have, having been allowed to slip partly from the grasp of Esau because of him tying up the blood of covenant with Levi. He, allowed the slaves to kind of be not as tightly kept as he